Hi students, here we meet again. So I'm Cikgu Adelina. Will be with you throughout the session. Okay, so today we'll be discussing about English SPM trial for 2022. And this time of around, I'll be using Selangor paper 1, which is set 1. Okay. Alright. So I hope everybody is ready. Okay, because for this time of around, what we'll be doing is that I'll be discussing paper 1, basically providing with all the answers as well, so that you can see why is the question, why the question is like this and why is the answer given like this, so that you can see the correlation of it. Okay, all right. Now, to refresh our minds back, for paper 1, this is a multiple choice question paper, and there is another 10 more questions towards the last end. Will be an open-ended question. Okay, so I think everyone must have been very familiar with how the format of paper 1 is. So without further ado, can I just continue? Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, now let's look at part 1. Okay, let's look at part 1. Now, for your information, for part 1, in paper 1, students are actually given 8 questions with only 3 multiple choice of answers. So basically, the first part is just a very simple, easygoing questions where students are actually getting ready for to be doing for the second part, because the second part students will be given 4 multiple choice questions. Okay. All right, now let's look at question number 1. Now, in question number 1, an advertisement is given for the students, and students have to identify the the message which is trying to be relayed in the advertisement. So you can see that there's a quote there given: transforming today's indoor laundry drying, and here they are talking about promoting the Nobita dehumidifier. Okay, and if you read the question, there's mentioned: safeguard your valuables from humidity damage and make laundry drying a breeze even on rainy days with Nobita dehumidifier. Drying a breeze means that even it's humid, your laundry can still become dry, okay, when you use this humidifier in your house. Now, it helps to regulate the humidity, prevent mold and mildew growth, speed up laundry drying, neutralize unpleasant odor and germs, all while refreshing up your indoor air quality. So if you were to look at this question, the options given to you, there are 3. Humidifier revolutionized indoor laundry. The humidifier is suitable for people with allergy. Does it mention anything about allergies? Nothing. It only mention about how does it prevents what from getting from growing mold and mildew. The humidifier will protect your valuables from all damages. You're not talking about valuables. What is valuables here? Valuables can be money, valuables can be clothes, valuables can be other things. But for this particular advertisement, this is merely about laundry. Okay, so therefore the answer is A. Revolutionized indoor laundry, meaning that all this while people are so worried about drying their laundry indoor due to humidity. But with this dehumidifier, it can definitely help in revolutionizing the indoor laundry. Okay, it's easier for us to use later. Okay. All right, let's look at the second question. So the second question is about a statement about loved one. Here they give you what does loved one has actually. They are talking about loved one's speciality, the beauty in loved one. If you go there, it talks about the island. Okay, and then the question requires students to give a true statement about loved one. So you can see that A, B, C, peaceful place to visit and relax, busy city and fact like Kuala Lumpur. Does it mention about fact? No. Okay, here you can see in the second paragraph there, Labuan is not a huge commercial or cargo island. It's very clearly stated. It is fact because it is an offshore financial center. Is it because of that? None or whatsoever. So therefore, the answer is no. Alright? Okay, until now, can still you do you have any questions you want to ask? I think the sentence structures are all very easy, yeah, to understand. Now, question number 3, this is actually a tweet. You can see that there is an @Sarah of mine. So if you see something like this is actually a format of a tweet. So getting started on YouTube is easier now than ever before with a bunch of free tools, a positive mindset and consistency. Here's why you can become a YouTuber in 2022. Start making videos and don't be afraid of mistakes. Nobody is perfect immediately, and you'll only improve by making more content. Check out my channel for more. This is basically something that Sarah tweets others, her friends, so that they know that this is what she wants people to do. So the purpose of this tweet is to encourage, share useful tips, or to enroll on online course on how to be a YouTuber. She's basically giving some tips. You can see that why you can become a YouTuber, start making videos, and don't be afraid of making mistakes. These are all things that we actually give, some suggestions. So suggestions is quite similar to giving tips, and that's why the answer is B. Okay. All right. Question number 4. Now, this is actually a notice of hiring new baristas to work full time. Okay, then they give you the responsibilities, what are the requirements to become a barista, and the question is asking us to identify if candidates are interested to become a barista, what should they do and what should they have. Okay, so the answer given there, B, can adapt to various working hours. Now, why is it not A? Because here doesn't mention specifically, the age. It's just that the maximum age is 24. They do not want those who are working here, probably older than that, because due to working hours, okay, must be at least 24 years old. It doesn't mention there, must be. It's just a requirement, female with maximum age. If you were 25 or 26, probably you'll be accepted as well. The probability is there. Can adapt to various working hours. Does it mention about working hours? Okay. Now, look at the third requirement. Willing to work shifts, work on weekends or holidays. Okay. Adapt various working hours. So, timing is not given specifically, but they will just give you a duration of time, a duration of hours, when. Okay. And C, need not have previous working experience. Do you need that? Interested? Okay, possesses good personality and interpersonal skills, preparing beverages according to specified quality standards, instructing and providing the best coffee experience for customers. Here also it doesn't mention that you need to have any previous working experience, but they only mention possess good personality and interpersonal skills. So meaning that previous working experience is not a requirement. You will still get the working experience later when you work as a barista here. So therefore, the answer is A. Okay, let's go at question number 5. Now, question number 5 is it's actually an information about what is third-hand smoke, third-hand smokers, and the things that we should do, the things that we should remember, understand that why should we care about being a third-hand smoker or third-hand smoker? Okay, now, according to the information about third-hand smoke, we can conclude that smokers will lose their possessions due to toxic chemicals. What kind of possession? It doesn't mention any possession. Okay, but if you look at what should we care, possessions like homes, cars, carpets, furniture lose value when contaminated by third-hand smoker. You are just losing value, not losing the possession. You have to understand that. When you say lose the possession, means it's either damaged and so forth. Someone have taken it from you. Okay, B, can harm young children by touching their mouth. Does it mention about touching their mouth? Okay, because they frequently touch objects and put their hands in their mouth. Okay, but it's not a conclusion yet. It's just telling you should be avoiding doing those things. Okay, and C, are accountable for leaving behind harmful particles. Okay. Third hand smoke contains many toxic chemicals that can harm you and your loved ones. So if you were to look at the question here, at the statement there on top there, you can see that, um, accountable for leaving behind harmful particles, you can see here, toxic chemicals that can harm you and your loved ones. Okay. This is what we are trying to conclude. We're not saying that about losing possessions, about harming your children. We are talking about what does it do to us in general. Okay. All right. Let's look at question number 6. Now, question number 6 is about statement where students are required to give to provide the statement which is true. So this is about reading culture, and in the first and the second paragraph it mentions about what kind of things or materials that you can use as your reading materials, and then the second paragraph is telling you about why should you be having a reading habit, why should you do reading as make reading activity as a habit. Sorry. Okay. This is the first and the second paragraph's explanation. Now, which of the following statement is true? Banks provide books for the public. Are you sure? Does it mention anything about banks? No, it's not banks here. Okay. B. E-books have replaced printed materials. It is not being replaced as totally. No, it's just an alternative way of reading rather than having printed materials. And C. Printed reading materials are expensive. Is it true? Let's see. Yes. Look in the first paragraph. Although printed materials remain relevant, they still cost too much. Because why? We are talking about production. We are talking about sending in the book itself to the places. So therefore, reading materials is actually expensive. So definitely the answer is not A and not a B, but it's a C. Okay. Question number 7. Now, this is actually a news about providing lockers for school students. This is something, an issue that has been a debate since last year. Okay? And you can see that this is about the reason why providing lockers to primary school students is to solve the problems of heavy school bags, and how the education minister have said that double session primary school students would be provided with lockers starting this year to solve the issue. So you can see that in what Dr. Razizudin has mentioned, basically we are trying to help schools that has double session because most of the students that have double session, they have more, students are many and they need places to put their bags, put their books, because most of their books are very, very heavy, definitely. Okay, and this is actually an initiative, was one of the 7 holistic solutions devised by the ministry to overcome issue of heavy school bags. So this is one of the solutions which is provided by the KPM. Okay, now based on the news, we know that having locker in school is the final solution. Is it final? No, it's not. Okay, remember, see, it's an initiative. It's just an initiative. B. All primary school pupils no longer have to carry heavy bags. Is it? No, it's not that. See, they are, because this is a process, therefore it takes time for all primary school students not to carry heavy school bags. There are still schools which is still where students do still have to carry heavy school bag. And see, the issue of heavy school bag has remained unsolved for nearly 30 years. Is it true? See, 3 decades. So 3 decades, 1 decade is equivalent to 10 years. So 10 years, 3 times 10 means that 30 years. So the answer is C. So basically, students, there are things that you need to understand. When you are doing part 1, mainly testing students on their understanding, their comprehension of the passage. Okay, and there are certain questions that require students to understand words. It does involve a little bit of mathematical problems like this, when they ask about, nearly 30 years, when they have to change from the number, okay, with the word 3 decades. So basically, students, they learn new things, they learn new words. Okay, and the last question for part 1 is question number 8. This is about life-saving beluga whale. So probably this is an article about how this particular person has helped to save the beluga whale, which is in where is it? Which is in China. Okay. All right. Why did the whale Wendy come to Yan's rescue? So basically, everyone knows that the name of the whale is Wendy, and the person that we are actually talking about is Yan, the 22-year-old who worked with whales. Okay, so from paragraph 1 to paragraph 3, you can read that, what she has been doing to help save the beluga whale from extinction. She was aware of Yan's situation. She realized Yan had dived too deep. She sensed a drop in the water temperature. So why did the whale Wendy come to Yan's rescue? Okay, what happened? So basically, this whale has helped Yan from getting drowned in a very cold water, icy water. So therefore, the answer is A. She was aware of Yan's situation. Let's look. Okay. Yan was prepared to dive as deep as possible into a freezing tank with Wendy, all without breathing equipment. She made it close to the bottom, but at 4.5 meters, she felt her legs cramped up due to the Arctic temperature water. She could no longer move and was stuck. She thought that she was going to die. That was when Wendy, who had swum with many visitors over the years, came to her aid. So this is the word, the sentence that shows the answer is A. She was aware of the situation. She could feel. Okay. All right. That's it for part 1. Now let's look at part 2. So part 2, the level of difficulty has been increased a little bit. Because now students are given 3 multiple choice questions. But for part 2, students are given 4 multiple choice questions. Okay, 4 multiple choice questions. All right. Now, if you could see here, for question number 0, the answer already given, got down from the school bus and ran to the scene of a 3-car what to assist medical and emergency medical services workers who were looking for a sign language interpreter. Okay, what happened? The answer is A. Pile up. Why is it pile up? Scene of a 3-car pile up to assist medical services. So basically, that's an accident that happened. 3 cars were piling up together. So when the school bus, number 10, pulled away, she saw the police and emergency workers attending to the victims of the accident. So basically, that when the bus driver saw something is happening in front, it pulled away from the scene so that it could give way to the emergency medical services to help. Okay. Number 11, the answer is D, near. Okay, is it near? Yes, true. The apartment building where she lives with her family. She then joined a small crowd of onlookers. Okay, why is it not watchers, audience, or spectators? Because this is basically you are at the side of the road, so you are just looking at them, and people who actually walking by the side of the road, we call it as onlookers and not spectators. Spectators usually when you watch some competition or a tournament. Audience would be in a hall. Watchers would be someone who watch others. Yeah? So onlookers, you're just basically looking, not doing anything. Okay, for number 13, Rania noticed that an injured woman was struggling to communicate with an EMS workers using a sign language. So definitely because this person is someone who is they cannot speak, so this particular lady was basically struggling a lot, but he could not understand her. He ran over to the paramedic to help. I heard you ask for an interpreter. So Rania said, I what? I, number 15. Number 15, I sign. Sorry, uh, I sign and I can help to interpret. Okay, sign. She said, I didn't know what she was saying. I was completely lost. The EMS captain said. Okay, right now I was able to relay the emergency to the emergency personnel that the woman's neck was 15 injured. Okay, and told them the name of the local hospital she preferred. She looked hurt and I'm proud that I was able to help. So Rania's mother, a former sign language interpreter, had 16 taught. Okay, taught Rania and his sibling how to sign. Okay, though no one in the family suffers from impaired hearing. Okay, I sign means you make signals. Okay, when her mother heard about her daughter's heroic, she was not surprised. It's in her nature to help. I was impressed that she recognized the seriousness, not importance, not difficulties, not depth, but seriousness of the situation and took charge. Even most adults would not have done that. A few weeks later, the health minister presented Rania with a certificate of appreciation. At the school, my mother always said that you never know what sign language might come handy. And I said that day it did. Okay, so you can see that when it comes to part two, the difficulty level is a little bit higher, and you can see that some of the questions will be testing students on their vocabulary and grammar. Like question number 9. Question number 9 is testing students on their what? Grammar or vocabulary? Vocabulary. Pile up, pile on, pile down, pile over. So students must know the meaning of these words. When you go to question number 10, this is testing students on their grammar. Okay, number 11, testing students on their grammar. Okay, preposition. Number 12, testing students on their vocabulary. So if you are used to answering questions for paper 1, you can see that some papers have a lot of questions on grammar. Some question papers have a lot of questions on vocabulary. So basically, vocabulary and grammar comes hand in hand. It goes together. Okay. All right. Now, part 3. Part 3 is the comprehension part. Again, students are given a little bit of a higher difficulty in understanding comprehension passages, because in this part of the test, students are required to read and understand. Okay, but no worries, students, only 4 multiple choice questions are given. I feel that most of the answers are actually not so difficult to comprehend. Okay, you can still understand them. Okay, all right. So you can see that the number of paragraphs are a lot, way more compared to part 1. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 paragraphs altogether. Okay, 7 paragraphs altogether. So you can see that the question is a little bit quite related to students' background. We talk about idols. So this is actually an article about BTS. I think everyone knows BTS. Who are these BTS members? Okay. All right. So if you look at the questions given, some comprehension question, it does mention where do students get the answers from. Like for example, number 19. According to paragraph 1, this boy band is known for these names, etc. So you can see that students actually can straight away get the answer for question number 19 in paragraph 1. Here. See? Right? When you go into question number 2, the theme of your songs are normally about what? It doesn't mention where to get, but you can see that when you answer comprehension question, it has to be accordingly. So if you have already started with paragraph 1, probably paragraph 2, you'll find the answer for question number 20 or in paragraph number 3. So always make sure that you read the question and try to relate it to the paragraphs given in the article. Alright? Okay. So you can actually read on your own, where is actually the answer that I got it from. Okay, and some comprehension questions it will tell you directly in what paragraph, but if you can see this particular text, it doesn't mention clearly where to get that, but they will give you the keywords of where to get the answers. Okay, right? Okay, now let's go to part 4. Now, in part 4, students are given again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 situation, 6 empty spaces where students have to find the suitable paragraph that suits to this blanks. Okay, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32. Okay, here this is about a text on this particular person who is very passionate and obsessed about chess player in high school. Okay, how she basically involved herself in playing chess. And if you could see the options of answer here again, I already put here. So I wanted to enter district chess open tournament. So the first question would be number 37, right? Okay, I had a passionate obsessed chess player in high school. So 27, what happened? Because of this particular being passionate and obsessed, most of my time was spent on chess than studies. See, I would stay up late at night studying chess games and playing against my twin brother instead of doing my homework. So you can see that the reason, due to his passion and obsession, he basically does a lot of practices on his own. Then again, I would go to my high school chess club, and then number 28, what happens? At that time, chess meant almost everything to me. Okay, I wanted to win at every game, and I would participate in. I had been my aim to be the best chess player at that time. So here is more about his passion. And question 28, the most suitable answer would be. Okay, so what do students do? Students actually have to put the number of alphabets in the blanks here. So like 27, the answer is G. Okay, so you put alphabet G inside 27. Okay, the same goes with other questions 28, 29 until 32. Now, and the last part is part 5. So this is what you call as the information transfer part. And this is where students actually have to, you are supposedly to read and transfer information from the reading text here. Students can be 6 or 8 or 7, depends. Here they have 1 to A, B, C, D, and E explanation about fishes, about animals. There are insects, there is a cat, sugar glider, fish, and parrot. So basically students have to read and understand, and from here they are given alphabets for like for this part A is actually about insects and arachnids. B is for Norwegian forest cat. C is about sugar glider. D is about flower horn fish, and E is for parrot. So students, when they answer the question, they have to put their alphabet in the blank boxes. So here students actually have to write. They have to write on their own. Okay. Just put the alphabets. Okay. Alright. Based on the description of the animals, here you look here. Its daily intake consists of plants and animals. Why is the answer a D? Is it a D? Yes. Plant-based food in any form, including pellets, compose part of its diet, enjoys peas, lettuce, and spinach. This should be supplemented with a protein-rich diet consisting of worms, shrimp, crickets, grasshoppers, and other insects. Because this particular animal, its daily intake consists of plants and animals. So that's why the answer is D. When you get the D here. Okay. And the last question. Okay, this is where students actually have to read back all the given description of these animals and find the words that is suitable to this particular question. Not being too wide consumes make flower horn an opportunistic omnivore. So the answer here is picky. Is picky in any is mentioned in any part of this paragraph? Let's find out. Owners will need to feed them around 2 or 3 times a day. Flower horns are voracious eaters and will pretty much consume almost anything we feed them. So try to limit their calorie intake a little to prevent weight gain. Flower horns are sometimes considered to be signs of fortune, luck, health, and prosperity by collectors. Okay. See, flower horn fish can best be described as an opportunistic omnivore. It is not particularly picky about what kind of food it eats. Not particularly. Not being too picky. That's why the answer is there. So you can find these words actually in the paragraphs. So basically for this particular part, students actually have to understand, they have to read and find the suitable word that can be suited into the lines. So that's how we do it for paper. So I think that's all. Sorry, that's all about paper 1 for today. So I hope that whatever that I have mentioned just now will be well understood by each and every one of you. So please take care. Bye.